Hello! It is Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Wednesday puzzle. We are halfway through the week, roughly, and so we get roughly midweek level of difficulty to correspond with that. One quick reminder, the Patreon campaign is up, and if you'd like to help support this series, head over to patreon.com/dailysolve, which is linked in the description field underneath this video, and you can sign up for various tiers that give you various benefits. And actually, I just noticed we've just hit 100 patrons on the Patreon campaign, so thank you so much to the 100 people who are helping support this channel going forward. Thank you so much. And if you haven't, go check it out. You might like what you see. Let's talk about some clues from yesterday. Yesterday, I think, was seen to be a tricky-ish puzzle for a Tuesday, and there were quite a few interesting bits of knowledge that people shared. But first, I want to address something that is not about a specific piece of knowledge, per se, from yesterday's puzzle. This is a broader question from Cass Wilkinson Saldana, who says, Drat, I was stuck on D-rig for a while. Is there any reliable rule for guessing D versus un as a prefix? You said, when we strip something, we un-something it, which made me realize I would say the same about D, or was it just a useful cross? Thanks for this series. Yes, Cass, that's a very good point that I probably should have actually... I probably should have unpacked that a bit more at the time. I was fortunate. I went back and looked at the video, and I was fortunate in the sense that I already had the U crossing, which was sort of unusual, and the U was the last letter in a proper noun, which is uncommon. So that was particularly fortunate. But you're right. It could have just as easy. Or sorry, I could have just as easily said D. DE is a prefix that indicates sort of negative or undoing something, reversing something, and those are both equally valid. And a lot of often in the crosswords, you'll get these things like plural suggesting, perhaps this ends with an S, that sort of thing, or the un or D for something that refers to reverting something or negative connotation. And you shouldn't get too hung up on it, because often, especially in the case of things like plurals, there are obviously many plural nouns that don't end in S. They're collective nouns or some other sort of thing. Or they end in I because they have a different etymology. So it's worth remembering that these things are a guide, and you want to use your crosses as much as possible to help you find that stuff. But they're often good to help you cycle through some possible words. And as we've seen on the series, I myself have often gotten waylaid, I suppose, by over-assuming based on what I think a prefix or suffix might be. So useful guide, and especially when you've got a cross helping you out, but definitely not anything that you could always certainly leap straight to. Okay, getting back to yesterday's puzzle in particular, Spiral Vex says, I'm commenting to mention American Ninja Warrior was/is an athletics and acrobatics contest game show, and those who win go on to participate in Japan's Ninja Warrior. Oh, so that's interesting. There's sort of a global league system of ninja warriors, I guess. And Chris Harris says, humorously, you mentioned the puzzle not having a revealer right before you clicked on one of the cells of the revealer, 31 down, which was in the center of the puzzle this time. You had also selected it shortly before referring to its absence when talking about the angle theme. Yeah, not sure what was going on there. I was just had some sort of utter lapse in either memory or observation, probably both. There was indeed a revealer explaining how the angle theme worked. I apologize. Daniel A. Miller, in referring to the clues that referenced the operating system Unix and the computer language Java, programming language Java, says, Mac OS X is actually Unix-based. So many people have essentially used Unix without realizing it. But since they don't realize it, I agree it is a tough fill. I'm a Java developer, so that clue is right up my alley, but it would definitely be hard for others. Yeah, it's a good point. I did not remember that, so I guess indeed I have used Unix, as have many people. Joseph George Blaze says, A small unremarked echo in today's puzzle comes from the dual clues Sonia, Sohn, and Idris, Elba. Sonia and Elba being the answers in the puzzle. They both acted in The Wire, with Sohn playing Detective Shakima Kima Greggs and Elba playing drug kingpin Russell Stringer Bell. Yes, there we go. I did not remember Kima's name, but now I do. That has been pointed out to me, of course. And I didn't mention at the time that Idris Elba also acted in The Wire, so that was a nice little bit of continuity there in that puzzle. All right, let's get on to today's crossword. This is a Wednesday puzzle constructed by Alex Eaton Salners. This is definitely a name I've seen a number of times. I believe Alex Eaton Salners is a prolific crossword constructor. This puzzle was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Are we ready to get started? I would say so. Okay. To bring a smile to. It could be elate, although elate maybe is a little bit too strong for this. One down, blank, we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet, I would think. So elate is not the answer to one across. Bring a smile to. I don't know. Probably should see it, but I don't yet. A wild guess could be a stab. A big jerk. Maybe a tug? I mean, I guess it could be a tug or an ass or an oaf or something. It depends if it's literally referring to you jerking something, pulling something, or if it's being used colloquially to indicate a person you don't like. Not really sure yet, so let's keep looking for now. Stay in power are, and we've got an asterisk here, which may indicate a theme. We have 66 selected. That may well be the revealer in the more traditional Lyell's Law location. Yes. When revealed in this puzzle, it reverses the meanings of the answers to the starred clues. Interesting. Don't know what that's getting at yet. Anyway, stay in power. I'm not sure yet. Daddy could be pops, maybe. Reproductive unit in botany. Oh, what is it? Like sepal or something? I don't remember what that is. Mammal with a prehensile proboscis. Oh, a tapir, I think. Have those long, sort of tapered noses. Tapir. Must be, is that a coincidence? Quickie Mart proprietor on The Simpsons. Oh, Apu, I think. A shindig is a bash. So let's see, does this help? Yes, daddy is papa. That does indeed help. And impressive work is an opus. So what is the reproductive unit in botany? Botany, plants. What is this? Oh, a spore, of course, as in from a fern or something like that. Hatcher of Hollywood plots. That's a fun clue. Not someone who hatches plots, but someone who participates in acting them out. Terry Hatcher. All right. So we have hold on to. Here's another theme answer. Let's see. Did we finish off did we look at all of these acrosses? No. Put a cork in it. Put a cork in it. If you admonish somebody, you might be telling them, shh. Could be. It might not be. Not sure. Let's look at the downs. Viciously criticizes informally. Feels as though that could be too many things. I'm not confident about the shush. Let's move on. Vim. So vim and vigor. Elan. Maybe esprit. Just, an enthusiasm, a gusto. Let's look at some crosses. Traditional focus of Brooks Brothers. Well, Brooks Brothers is a menswear store, so I would want to put menswear in there, which doesn't fit with Esprit. So maybe not. Let's try menswear and see what happens if we put that in. Bring a smile to, amuse. There we go. That does seem better. Another reproductive unit in biology. Oh, biology, not botany this time. Right. So this is more broad. This is broader than botany. So it could be egg, I guess. Right. Assistant with a goofy beatboxing routine. Just ask. What? Just ask. What does that mean? I don't really know what that's getting at. At follower on Twitter. Oh, a username. At is the symbol that precedes one's username on Twitter. Stay in power. One of the reasons I didn't even bother guessing at this earlier is because we see that this is a circled cell here, which means it's part of the theme in some way. And you never know with a circled cell. It might not even be part of the answer, even though it is part of username. It could be the case that specifically on the acrosses, it actually is left out. That's the kind of thing that happens. So I sort of skipped over it entirely and figured I'll just deal with it once I have more crosses, which I probably will continue to do. Apologies if you're seeing the obvious answer for it. Vim, oh, energy. There we go. So again, Vim, pep, your drive. Benadryl competitor. This is some sort of medication. I'm not sure what this is. Looks like a medication, but that Y and T, they seem, I don't know, medical. Reproductive unit in biology. Yeah, probably is egg. So stay in power. Oh, could it be resign? Could it be leave power? Because there was something in the revealer that said, yes, when revealed in this puzzle. Oh, I see how it works. Okay. When revealed in this puzzle, it reverses the meanings of the answers to the starred clues. So resign obviously means leave power, but if we removed this S, we would get reign, which to reign is to actually be in power. It doesn't necessarily mean to stay in power specifically. I think it more means to be in power, but I wonder if the point is that resign is the opposite of staying in power. So we have to flip it in some way. And also reign sort of means the opposite. Anyway, assistant with a goofy beatboxing routine. Oh, Siri, I guess? Believe it or not, I've actually never used one of these voice assistants. I've never actually spoken to any of them. So I don't know. I guess it's not surprising that one of them would have a beatboxing routine. That's sort of odd. Here we have Blank Lanka, Sri Lanka. It's pretty straightforward. Lease alternative. Instead of leasing a car, for instance, you might own it. Web address ender could be org.org. Unfiltered and unpasteurized brew. Real ale, maybe? Here in the UK, there's something called CAMRA, the Campaign for Real Ale, which lobbies for traditional cask ales to be served in pubs. Oh, Nitol, that sort of looks like a medication to me. Benadryl competitor. Audio tool that reduces volume extremes. A leveler, maybe? Audio levels, you're taking levels to some kind of average. Yeah. One playing with a mouse, maybe. A gamer, I suppose, a mouse and keyboard on a computer. Done openly. So this could be covert, which has overt. So covert is something done clandestinely or secretly. Something overt is done openly. So maybe reign is meant to be stay in power. It's just slightly loose. King of Pop. Oh, actually, I don't think the Downs are part of this. I was going to start looking at that C, but here username, the circled S is irrelevant. It's an ordinary S. So square. I don't know. Square could be sort of nerdy, could be fair, even. Could be mathematical square. Not really sure. Country on the Gulf of Guinea. I think this would be obvious. I'm sure I'll see it with some crosses. Oh, here we have hold on to. Right. Hold on to. Heave. There we go. And hold on to without the E is have. Very good. Like the background of the Wicked poster. I think the Wicked poster is sort of two-tone, the musical about the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. I've never seen Wicked, but I've certainly seen the poster around town. I think it's sort of green and black. And there are two faces in it. I'm not really sure what this is getting at. I'm going to move on. You don't need to see me rack my memory fruitlessly. Main character of classic TV. This is probably Mr. Ed, a long concluded television series with a talking horse named Mr. Ed. I'm sure that's what that is referring to. Okay. Large blue expanse. The sea? Probably not the sea. What is this? Right. It's probably not TT. Helpfully pushy person. Not sure. Let's keep going. Changing gradually. Boy, I wish I could just jump straight to this. What is this? Changing gradually. Oh, revolutionary. As opposed to evolutionary, which is yes, evolutionary is changing gradually. Revolutionary is changing drastically, as in a revolution. So the king of pop, oh, Carole King, great pop songwriter and performer. Square, oh, square could be even up, I see, as in to square your accounts, settle your dues, for instance. Great Basin tribe is probably Oto tribe. Let's see, what is this? Says I do at a Vegas drive-thru, say. Elopes, you might, oh, whoops. Oh, probably not, I see. The tribe is probably not Oto, it's probably the Oot. Neglect, disregard or diss something. Miss something, diss something. Here's another sort of case of trying to grab a prefix that sounds like negative, diss or miss. Oh, Togo. Yes, there we go. Country in the Gulf of Guinea. That looks right. Helpfully pushy person. No, I'm not really seeing it for some reason. Large blue expanses. Oh, sorry. This is expanses plural. Another case for a suffix here. I was thinking singular for some reason. I just read it poorly before. I find I'm on the video, I often read these poorly. Maybe I do that on my own as well, but I definitely find that I'm it's interesting the way your attention is sort of drawn in multiple directions when you're on video like this. Anyway, viciously criticizes informally. Not sure. Clean blank. Could be clean something with that dash. Here's another, I don't know, general sort of linguistic tip that's maybe helpful. Often compound nouns are hyphenated. So an example would be do-over, for instance. If you say, I'm going to do over that choice, that's a horribly awkward sentence, but just bear with me for the purpose of demonstration. Do-over would not be hyphenated because the do is actually the verb, and then over is sort of modifying it. They're sort of separate in a way. They work together, but they're sort of separate. Whereas if you say, all right, I'll give you a do-over on that. Do-over now becomes a single compound noun. So they're sort of one unit, and we hyphenate them together in that case. Sometimes the words actually are joined together as opposed to being hyphenated together, but sometimes it would be awkward to join them together into a single word, so we hyphenate them instead. So the only reason I'm explaining this is because here there's a hyphen, so it makes me think that this might be a noun rather than a verb, and that makes me think maybe it ends in R, like in the way that you could say I can't think of any compound nouns that include clean, but that end in R, but a sort of let's just invent a horrible compound noun. A clean lover, for instance, right? I mean, if that was a person, you might imagine that having an R at the end because you're sort of turning a verb into a noun, adding the R at the end to indicate it's someone who's doing that, and then the whole thing is hyphenated to create a single compound noun. Anyway, that was sort of what I was imagining, so I was sort of imagining this, but I don't think that's true anyway because this looks like oceans, doesn't it? So that was all sort of pointless. Clean, what is this? Capital of Eritrea. Is it Samara? Put a cork in it. No, maybe not. Big jerk. Clean. What is this? Clean heaven? What is? I'm not seeing what this is. Viciously criticizes informally. Big jerk. Put a cork in it. Oh, clean shaven. Sorry. Anyway, that completely, this serves as an anti-example to my entire spiel there because clean shaven is an adjective. But, I mean, fair enough. It's not a verb, at least. So at least I wasn't directly contradicted. This is just another category of thing. Okay. And actually, it's sort of an example of what I mean. In that this is sort of clean shaven is becoming sort of a single compound adjective that is describing something. So they're sort of getting combined into one descriptive term. To vandalize could be to mar. Viciously criticizes informally. Oh, shreds, perhaps. Oh, maybe put a cork in it is shush. What is this? Oh, Big Jerk is an ass. Oh, interesting. Asmara, not Samara. Maybe did I have that somewhere in my memory and sort of just mixed it up? I hope so. Okay, like the background of the Wicked poster. Do I have something? Is oceans wrong? It doesn't seem like it could be, does it? What does this mean? No idea what that is. Perfumes with a thurible. Or perfumes with a thurible. Probably perfumes. Is a thurible some? It must be a religious thing. Senses. Is this like the censer in a Catholic mass? Like a benediction or something, where you've got the urn with the aromatic in it that the priest swings. Is that what it is, perhaps? I bet that's what that is. Helpfully pushy person. Oh, and a nudger, maybe? Someone who nudges people? And I suppose, I don't think I've seen that used in that particular way, but it could be. What is this? The background of the Wicked poster. I'm sorry if this is... I feel as though I got something in the wrong place here or something. This is so odd looking. I'm sure it'll be very obvious when I eventually see it. Just like all of the answers are. Not all of them. Neglect. It does have dis at the beginning, doesn't it? Single-masted boat. A skiff, maybe? No, that doesn't look right. A sloop, perhaps? That looks like it fits these crosses a little bit better. Oh, emerald! The background... okay. The background of the Wicked poster is emerald. If I were more familiar with The Wizard of Oz, that probably would have jumped to my mind more quickly. Because isn't there something emerald in The Wizard of Oz? Something is emerald? A castle or a town or a kingdom or something? That rings a bell, but I can't bring it to mind. And obviously didn't bring it to mind until it was almost entirely spelled out for me. Like some abs, could be rock hard abs. It's often used to describe someone whose abs are an incredible physical fitness. Performed at one's peak. Performed at one's peak. Does that have something, is that a pun about someone's the top of one's head or being at the top of a mountain? Oh, yodeled. No, maybe not. Is it yodeled with two L's? I'm wondering if yodeling, which has a connotation of, I don't know, being in the Alps or somewhere like that, right? This sort of Northern European rustic singing. Doesn't look like this works very well over here. So, oh, no, it does. Some thrift shop music purchases are used CDs, so we've got a big clump of consonants all slamming into each other there. K-pop star whose hit 2012 song refrain made the Yale Book of Quotations. This must be Gangnam Style by Psy, P-S-Y, right? P-S-I or P-S-Y. Type in is key in, so it's definitely P-S-Y. Yes, that's what I thought. So neglect, I see, disuse. So it's neglect as a noun rather than neglect as a verb. Always got to consider that. Consider what part of speech a word might be, because in English, many of them are spelled the same way. Okay, on the sheltered side, nautically is a lee. That's just nautical vocabulary there. Shipping choice of DHL is a German, maybe, shipping firm that is international. D&D equipment, Dungeons and Dragons equipment. Oh, dice, sorry. Helen who sang I Am a Woman. Is it Reddy? Helen Reddy? Slop spot could be sty, as in slop for pigs. Lead into self could be herself. Let's try it and see. Oh, when revealed in this puzzle, it reverses the meanings of the answers to the starred clues. Secret? When the secret is... Oh, I suppose so. When the secret is revealed, I guess. Oh, yes. Very clever. These spell out secret. So S-E-C-R-E... Wait. Yes, right. Sorry. E-T. Had a momentary lapse there. So I guess what this means is when secret is revealed, when that becomes its own word and therefore is no longer a part of these other words, their meanings are reversed. Very clever. What is this? Doesn't eat. Oh, fasts. Yes. Sorry. I almost immediately forgot how the theme works because it's been a while since we entered one in. So that is fasts becomes feasts. Fasts doesn't eat and feasts is eats. On this spot would be there, and without the T is here. Very good. This is a very clever theme, finding all these words that are one letter away from their antonyms. It's very clever. Aerial hunter could be an eagle, I suppose. Otherworldly would be alien, and blank some and then some. Wood in a baseball bat. Well, with 3 letters and an H, that's got to be ash wood, right? Man in the Irish Sea. Man in the Irish Sea. Oh, an isle, as in the Isle of Man, which is literally an island in the Irish Sea. To give off is to emit, and the Christmas trio are the Magi, the 3 wise men. What is this? Something with 2 heels is a loaf of bread has a heel on either end. Newman, who wrote Heather Has 2 Mommies. I'm not sure, but it'll be a name, so presumably we'll get it with some crosses, hopefully. Blank, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. Instructions on a shampoo bottle. Dig up on something. Maybe not. Like some winter weather. Very cold, frosty, frozen, freezy. Freezy would fit, but it's obviously wrong. It's in heavy rotation on the highway, an axle on your car, right? So, to dig up is to exhume, right? As opposed to inter, I guess. Okay, tone. Hum? Oh, whoops, missed something over here. Ye old apothecary bottles. Files. I think I weirdly, maybe obliquely referred to the spelling of files this sort of archaic, I guess is the right word, spelling of vials with a PH, sort of an old-timey spelling of vials. And then here we have fitness measure. I don't think we'd seen this clue. Steps looks correct. 10,000 steps a day, that sort of thing, I suppose. First responder in brief is an EMT, emergency medical technician. Daisy Ridley's Star Wars role, she played the character Rey in the new Star Wars films. Oh, like some winter weather is sleety, so that makes Newman Leslie Newman, which looks like a plausible name, and then tone is hue, which is better than hum. So this is a color tone as opposed to, I was trying to think of something oral, audible. And that's the puzzle. Good solid Wednesday puzzle. I really liked that theme. I really enjoy wordplay in these puzzles. The New York Times crossword isn't always very wordplay heavy, but I always think it's fun because, after all, the whole point of a crossword is vocabulary and words and using words in different ways and fitting words together. So I like it when themes involve something like this that involves playing around with words and language. And this is very clever. There's something sort of fun about language is obviously completely invented by people, and yet you can have a theme like this that feels as though we're discovering something inside language, almost in the way that you sort of discover a natural law or something. Obviously, this isn't that because these are largely coincidences. Obviously, in some cases, they're not. I would say revolutionary and evolutionary and overt and covert are, and probably there and here. Those are probably cases where it is not a coincidence. There's an etymological reason that these words have ended up this way. And it's actually probably not a coincidence that those are the cases where it's the first letter of the word, because then you're dealing with prefixes. So prefixes obviously are one of the ways we modify the meaning of a word in language. But I think something like resign and reign, that's a total coincidence. And I think heave and have that's probably etymologically a total coincidence, that those words aren't really antonyms, but certainly can be, with this a cross clue, hold on to. I mean, obviously you wouldn't say heave is actually the antonym of have, but when the clue is hold on to, well, heaving something is letting it out of your hand and having something is, at least in some meanings, having something in hand, as in a bird in the hand, for instance, is totally plausible. And same with resign and reign. This being the very first one of these we unlocked, I was sort of picking nits a bit about reign meaning stay in power, but in the context of needing an antonym to resign, I think that's fair enough. It works very well. Very clever theme by Alex Eaton Solners. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. And I hope you're enjoying these videos and this series. If you are, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do subscribe. Press the subscribe button, then my little number will go up, and that makes YouTube think that I'm successful or something. And then maybe more people will see these videos, and that would be great. And if you know someone who might like to subscribe, pass this along to them. Maybe you could do it in some sort of covert way, find some way to sneak it into a situation and say, oh, right, I learned something about some completely useless bit of language from this very interesting series. I don't know, give it a shot. I don't know what I'm talking about. If you particularly like this series and would like to contribute to its ongoing sustainability, please consider heading over to my Patreon page at patreon.com/dailysolve, which is linked in the description field underneath the video, and check out the various tiers there. See if there are any rewards you might like, such as the bonus solves or being recognized at the end of these videos, or getting special access to the Daily Solve Discord server, which, by the way, is generally free to join if you're interested, and there's a link there underneath this video as well. And again, as I said, we hit 100 patrons. Probably overnight, I suppose, which was very exciting to see. That was a nice thing. So thank you so much to those of you who have helped achieve that. And thank you especially to Joseph Schwalbach and Overfull Hitbox. And as always, thank you to Hood Monster. Thank you so much to the 3 of you, to the other 97 of you, and also to all of the rest of you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you join me tomorrow for the Thursday puzzle. The, as I always say, the first sort of tricky puzzle of the week, usually with some kind of more ambitious theme and a bit more misdirection and complexity. So join me for that. It should be fun. And until that point, please do have an excellent rest of your Wednesday. Take care.